Okay, good morning everyone and welcome to our GFit Wellness webinar. Today's topic is digestion, and it's a really interesting topic to me because there's a lot of questions when it comes to digestion, but often not a lot of answers. And today we have with us Sara Siedleski. She is a holistic medicine expert. She owns Winnipeg Nutrition, and she diagnoses, coaches, and works with clients all over North America. She has numerous degrees in medicine from various universities and anti-aging, medicine, and nutrition. And her areas of expertise are, some of her areas of expertise are hormone correction, adrenal fatigue, digestion, food allergies, thyroid, and more. And over the past couple of years, I have personally sent 3 of our GFit coaches to Sara because they were struggling with some digestion issues that I personally wasn't able to correct, and I wanted to bring in the big gun, so to speak. So I sent them over to Sara, and she was able to work with them and get a little bit deeper into the root of the problem and really help them out. So Sara definitely has my vouch or my vote of approval as an expert in any of the areas that she specializes in. So I'm really looking forward to today's webinar. And what we will do is, if you do have questions, you can just type them into the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen, and at the end of the podcast our webinar will go through those questions and get you your answers. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Sara.
Well, thank you so much. I am thrilled to be here with you guys this morning. Digestion is a huge topic. Like Grant said, right? There's a lot of questions and there's not a lot of answers. And I'll go so far as to say we've got an epidemic of digestive disorders on our hands. It is so rare that I meet someone that doesn't have some form of a digestive concern or complaint. So I'm excited to share with you guys today some nutritional keys to help heal digestive systems. Your gut, the health of your gut, the state of your digestive system actually accounts for about 75 to 85% of your total body's health. That is huge. So if something is not working right in your digestive system, that has the effect in so many other places in your body. So nailing down a healthy digestive system is absolute key to having a functioning body top to bottom. So my talk today, I want to address those that have gotten known digestive issues. So you've been already diagnosed with something like IBS, IBD, Crohn's, colitis, diverticulitis. Maybe something's going on and you're undergoing diagnostic testing right now. So I want to give you guys some tips today. But I also want to share some keys for people that have got symptoms, but maybe no medical diagnosis. Things like bloating, heartburn, indigestion, acid reflux, diarrhea, stomach pain. If you've got those symptoms, constipation is another big one I hear. And I want to expand on that a little bit. How many times a day you eat should nearly equal how many bowel movements you're having. So I get a lot of people that go, no, I'm having about 1 movement a day or 1 every second day, I'm good. No, that's constipation. So if you're eating 3 meals a day, you should be having 2 to 3 movements. If you're only eating once a day, maybe you'll only have 1. But think of it as how much I'm taking in and how much is leaving. So most of us have sluggish digestive systems. That is an issue that needs to be addressed. And we need to address it right away. Far too many people leave digestive orders for far too long, and then something really goes wrong, right? Your gut accounts for 75 to 85% of your health. So that system and having it function well is important. Don't ignore symptoms when it comes to GI issues. Deal with them. It's not just a little bit of heartburn. It's not minor diarrhea. It's an issue. There's a difference between what's normal and what's common. So although a lot of people have issues that might be common, it doesn't make it normal. I'll also hear things like, well, I'm constipated, but so is my mom. I get that. I do get that. But genetics accounts for such a little amount of your digestive health. 99% of the time, if you're struggling with digestive issues, something can be helped. It's just a matter of nailing down what's going on and how we need to fix that. But the majority of the time, there's huge hope in healing that system. When digestive issues are left untreated, there's a few things that happen. In men that ignore digestive issues, we typically see over time their cholesterol levels start to rise. And with guys, when cholesterol rises, testosterone usually tanks. And if you play that story out, it usually involves the prostate at some point. So when guys come in with digestive issues, not only are we correcting those problems to get their gut working better, but a functioning gut is going to be testosterone protective and prostate protective going forward. Same thing with women is we'll see a lot of girls and they come in and they go, Sara, my hormones are a wreck. I think we need to look into them. And we hear their story and we go, it's your gut that we've got to address. Because your liver metabolizes hormones. What it doesn't need goes out through the gut. But if your gut's not working, girls' bodies will start to store all those excess hormones. And we feel like we're going crazy, right? PMS, early menopause, ridiculous cycles, thyroid imbalances. And it goes back to your digestive system. And as soon as we get your gut working better, right, your body's able to release all those excess hormones. And oftentimes we don't even have to look at hormones. Right? When the gut works, hormones start to balance. So again, going back to so much of your overall health is digestive. Same thing with your immune system. I want to touch on that for a second too. Your immune system sits right in behind your digestive system. So if your digestive system is malfunctioning, most people will start to experience low immunity. Colds, flus, they often feel under the weather. So we're taking a bunch of things to boost our immune system, but it's a gut issue. And when we get our gut working better, your immune system can start to heal again as well. All right, so what can you do if you have or suspect a digestive issue? Actually, one thing I'll say before I get started is before you start on any kind of a nutritional protocol, double check with your healthcare provider. They know your situation better. So always double check with them first. All right, so two things. There are two absolute keys to a healthy, functioning digestive system. The first one is your foods. The majority of the time, if you've got any kind of a gut issue going on, you've got to change your foods. Supplements are important. Therapies can be absolutely necessary to heal the gut. But if you do not change what you put into your body on a daily basis, results are temporary. What you feed your body literally builds the lining of your digestive system. So we hear a lot about the gut microbiome. That lining, that microbiome, is built by what you eat. So if you're eating foods that build that, excellent, you're on track. But if you're eating foods that are tearing apart that microbiome, we're going to have an issue. And again, results are going to be temporary. So number one is to know that most likely you will need to change your foods. So the first thing with foods is you've got to buy quality. So what are quality foods? Well, quality foods are not cheap. They're not fake. They're not man-made. Genetically modified foods are fake foods, right? Foods that have got all sorts of colorings and processing and chemicals added to them. Our body isn't built to digest those. It's not made to digest what was made in a lab. It is meant to digest real food. So if you're eating foods that have been changed or altered, or things have been added, or things that have been taken away, it is not real. It will not feed your gut. It will harm your gut. So if we're trying to repair a digestive system, or if we're trying to keep a digestive system strong, you've got to put quality food in. It's no different than when you fuel up your vehicle, right? We don't mix a little bit of gas with a little bit of a few other things and expect our cars to run. We got to put gas in them, pure gas, and they run. Same thing with our body. Quality matters when it comes to foods. Sugar is the other essential. And I know that we hear this far too much, to remove sugar, but I've got to say it again. Sugar feeds disease and sugar feeds dysfunction. Sugar also feeds inflammation. So if you've got a digestive issue going on, if you're trying to get your gut working better, but you are eating sugar on a pretty regular basis, we're undoing everything. So those are my two big food things. Is number one, quality. Quality matters. Quality does not have to mean 3 times the price. Quality just means real food. Sugar, get it out, remove it. I'm not saying you can never have anything sweet. I'm just saying 95% of the time sugar's got to go if you're correcting an issue, right? If there's bacteria in your digestive system, it feeds off sugar. If your gut is inflamed, sugar feeds that. It's like fuel to the fire. So we struggle with correction when we can't remove sugars from our diet. So those are the two big things. No matter what's going on in your gut or what path we choose to treat your digestive system, those are 2 keys: quality and no sugar. Sugar also depresses your immune system for about 4 hours. So if your body is fighting something, like a cold or a flu or digestive bacteria, and you're eating sugar a few times during the day, you are tanking your immune system and you've just got no ability to fight anymore. So we're in cold and flu season right now anyway. Don't need any of that. Right. So I want to give you guys a few food specifics when it comes to digestive concerns. So first of all, if you are someone that has been diagnosed with a medical digestive condition, if you are suffering with huge symptoms on a daily basis, I often recommend what's called an autoimmune paleo meal plan, or AIP. Some of you may have heard about it. It is a meal plan that removes a lot of food groups that are known to cause digestive problems. When there are significant issues, when there are significant symptoms, we say jump on an AIP meal plan as fast as you can, cut back to the bare minimum. That way you're not eating things on a regular basis that are causing inflammation. So an AIP, or an autoimmune paleo meal plan, is pretty restrictive. Just going to be upfront about that. But again, if you are dealing with some pretty major symptoms or some pretty significant diagnosis, that is the meal plan that I see that people do the absolute best on for decreasing GI inflammation or pain. I'll even go so far as to say, if people are in the middle of, I don't know what's going on, I can't figure out how to function better, that is the go-to meal plan, because it removes so many different foods that are so often irritating. So an AIP meal plan isn't meant to be forever. So if you take a look at that meal plan and go, oh my gosh, Sarah, what am I going to eat? This is not a forever meal plan. This is a meal plan to get things under control and to get your gut healing again. So I often recommend an AIP meal plan for about 3 to 6 months. During those months, you cut your foods back to the bare minimum. You eat only what makes your gut feel good, and you eat nothing that irritates the gut lining. During those 3 to 6 months, we also heal your gut lining. So I'm going to tell you how to do that in just a few minutes. But again, if you are someone with some pretty serious symptoms, or you've been diagnosed with something, or you are struggling top to bottom, not knowing where to fit in, an autoimmune paleo meal plan may be absolutely ideal for you. There are so many resources for that meal plan online. We sell those meal plans. We can email it out to you, no problem. So it is a restrictive meal plan, but there are so many resources for recipes and meal ideas for that. And again, it's not meant to be forever. 3 to 6 months. Again, during those 3 to 6 months, we cut you back to the minimums. We heal your gut lining. And then one at a time, you bring those foods back into your system. As you introduce those foods one at a time, you're able to pinpoint what works and what doesn't. So for example, the meal plan cuts out nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds can be irritating for different digestive disorders. So if after a few months you've cut those out and you're at the stage where you're adding foods back in and you add them back in and you still feel great, awesome, you keep those. If you're adding foods back in and you add some nuts back in and go, oh, I recognize that cramp, I used to have it, get rid of that food, try it again later. So you end up building yourself a meal plan based on how your body functions. Typically, we remove the foods, we heal the gut, and the majority of the time people are able to add most of those food groups back into their system without a problem. So again, there's a lot of resources for that autoimmune paleo meal plan, but that is a meal plan that is for those tough cases. And that's really where I see the best results with some of those tough cases are with an AIP meal plan. If you are someone that is not experiencing massive painful symptoms, you're someone that's got more irritating symptoms on a regular basis. You eat and you feel bloated. You're having diarrhea on a regular basis. You've got heartburn with your meals. One day you eat something and feel fine. The next you eat it and go, what in the world? I felt fine with this yesterday. What's going on? Those cases, I like to use what's called a low FODMAP meal plan. FODMAP. So low FODMAP foods are known to be less gassy, less bloating. So again, there are so many resources for a low FODMAP meal plan. I'm not hanging you out to dry with that one either. We've got those meal plans, we can send them. You'll find resources for low FODMAP in a lot of places. But that is a meal plan that cuts down those irritating foods that are known to cause more gas type symptoms, like the bloating, like the heartburn, those types of symptoms. Again, just like AIP, low FODMAP is not a forever meal plan. Low FODMAP is meant to be used as a tool for symptom management while we heal your gut. So same thing as AIP, right? We get you on a meal plan, we cut out a lot of the offending foods, we grab a low FODMAP meal plan for you, we remove some of those gassy bloating type foods, and then we go in and heal the gut. With low FODMAP, if you think that that suits more of your symptoms, you're more the bloated, irritable stomach pain after eating type symptom, that's a meal plan that I usually do for about 4 to 6 weeks. Not a long time. Again, we cut out the foods, we heal your gut, and you add them back in one at a time. And if your gut lining is healing, you should be able to add a lot of those foods back in without issue. So I'm going to review here for a minute. Number 1, quality foods. Number 2, no sugars. Right? If you're trying to heal anything in your body, no sugars. The third thing is you've got to pick a meal style that fits where you're at right now. Again, it doesn't have to be forever. It's just got to be for what you're dealing with right now. So then the fourth thing is how you actually go in and heal your gut lining. So no matter what kind of digestive disorder I see, one of the most amazing tools for healing the lining of your gut is intermittent fasting. I know that's a big kind of fad diet right now, but intermittent fasting is amazing for gut issues. If you think about an injury to any part of your body, let's use your ankle as an example. If you break your ankle, what do? Right? You put in a cast, you're on crutches, you sit on the couch, you elevate your ankle. For about 4 to 6 weeks, your ankle doesn't move, it doesn't bear weight, It literally sits and heals. Intermittent fasting allows something similar for your gut. Now, if you've got a gut issue, we can't tell you to not eat for 4 to 6 weeks. But we can suggest that you give your gut breaks, right? It's like a broken ankle that you're walking on all day, right? If you're eating 17 times a day, right, your gut never gets to rest. And that is key to healing anything, right? There's a reason we say if you're sick, go home and sleep, because your body rests, right? Give your gut a rest if it's not working well. I was doing some reading, and stats actually show that the average person puts something, like they eat something 11 to 17 times a day. I was floored. I thought there's no way in the world that a person is doing that. And then I started to count. Right? And you get up and you have warm water and lemon. Then you have coffee. And then you have breakfast. And then maybe you have the leftovers from your kids' breakfast as you're cleaning up. Right? And then mid-morning you make a kale smoothie. And then you grab a few almonds. And then you have lunch. And then maybe in the afternoon you're grabbing some carrots and hummus. It's all healthy, but it is still something in your gut all day long, which is why I love intermittent fasting. It just gives your gut a break. There are so many different ways to intermittent fast. It's truly what works for you, how long you can go, what some of your health goals are. But fasting has been an amazing tool for healing the gut. I've been doing this for several years, getting people intermittent fasting with gut issues, and man, does it drop inflammation. We'll get people that are in a flare. So if you've got IBS or Crohn's, you know what a flare is. We're at the point where we say, if you're in a flare, stop eating, drink bone broth, right? Don't eat, don't irritate the system. Right? If you've had a broken ankle and you're getting back to working out again and it flares up, you back off. Do the same with your gut. Intermittent fasting is amazing for driving down inflammation and increasing stem cells to heal your gut. Because when you fast, your body creates stem cells. Stem cells are those little messengers that go out into your body and they heal damaged tissue. So by giving your gut a break, you give your gut a chance to heal. So I would really, really encourage that when it comes to gut issues. The second way to heal your gut lining is through specific supplements. So the two parts to healing your gut, one being foods, the other being specifics to heal the gut lining. So you've chosen your meal plan, you're starting to fast. Now we've got to go in with some specific nutrition to heal the lining and to get that working better for you. So what can you take? Well, vitamin D. Vitamin D is absolutely essential to every single cell in your body. Every cell, whether it's a gut cell, heart cell, brain cell, has a vitamin D receptor. You need vitamin D to heal your body. It is a massive gut support. So you want to grab a vitamin D. I recommend a liquid vitamin D. You're going to get more absorption. If your gut's not working well, you want easy to break down, easy to digest. Those rock hard tablets, save them for later. Grab yourself a liquid vitamin D. Your vitamin D should also contain vitamin K2 and either vitamin A or vitamin E. Vitamin D is always taken with foods because it is a fat-soluble vitamin. So typically a maintenance dose for vitamin D is around 2,000 to 2,500 IUs each day. If you're healing damaged tissue, if you've never taken vitamin D before, I would say test. Get your levels tested. That way you know where you're sitting and you know what kind of a dose you need. Optimal vitamin D levels are around 85 to 100. But vitamin D, whether you test or not, whether you know numbers or not, you've got to get on some vitamin D in order to help heal your digestive system. The second supplement I always recommend for GI concerns is a digestive enzyme. You can grab them anywhere, but man, do they make a world of a difference for digestion. Enzymes' jobs, you take them just a few minutes before your meal, so they're kind of in your gut when you start eating. But when you take an enzyme, it helps you break apart the food that you're eating. It helps you absorb more nutrition from the food, and it helps you eliminate more efficiently. So when it comes to the breakdown of foods from beginning to end, enzymes are an excellent help. They can also really make a big difference when it comes to bloating and constipation as well. Enzymes aren't something that I would recommend someone take forever, but certainly when you're healing your digestive system, it takes the pressure off. It gives your body help with the digestive process. So you want to keep those in your pocket. You might want to put them in your purse or your desk drawer. That way they're always around. Grab one or two when you're eating. You really can't overdose on something like an enzyme. So those are some pretty safe supplements. Omega oils are really soothing, really repairing, and massively anti-inflammatory to your gut lining. So again, when we're looking at healing that lining, part of the issue typically goes back to inflammation. Decreasing inflammation, soothing that whole system, omega oils are fantastic for that. Whenever I see anyone with a gut issue, that is one of the first things we grab for them is an omega oil. I prefer plant-based oils over fish oils. A lot of times we'll get girls on evening primrose oil. You're getting your balanced omega-3, 6, 9, but there's a little bit of hormone balancing properties to that as well. But I prefer plant-based over fish when it comes to digestive health. Let's say they're typically a little bit of a cleaner supplement, but they're an absolute essential to gut health. Probiotics. We've all heard about probiotics. Probiotics are a huge digestive system healer. They inoculate your gut with healthy bacteria. A lot of the times, gut dysfunction happens is because of an imbalance of bacteria. We start to grow more bad than we have good. And we need large amounts of beneficial bacteria in our gut in order to function properly. So probiotics, put those in. If you're already taking probiotics, or when I see someone that's already on a probiotic, we constantly switch their probiotic. So we've been taught for a long time, grab a probiotic, take it every day, never stop. We gotta change it, right? Our gut lining is supposed to have billions and billions of different strains of bacteria in it. So when we take the same probiotic day in and day out, week after week, month after month, we can actually create our own imbalance from probiotics. I actually find acidophilus infections in people. Rotate your probiotic every single time. In my fridge, you open the door and you'll see about 5 different bottles of probiotics. I don't take them all every day. I just rotate. So you can rotate bacteria-based probiotics. You can rotate soil-based probiotics. Your Garden of Life brand will have more soil-based probiotics. You can even get spore-based probiotics in there. Megaspore or Just Thrive are some of the companies that sell those types of probiotics. But the more different types you get in, the better. Now, probiotics are typically taken on an empty stomach because you want them to go in and sit and fill your gut and be left alone. So oftentimes I'll tell people to take them just before you go to bed, right? You've got an empty stomach, pop a probiotic, go to bed. It's got all night to sit in your stomach. If people are fasting in the morning, you can also grab a probiotic first thing in the morning if you're not eating till about noon. That's another time. Gut bacteria is usually its highest in the morning. So if you are doing any kind of fasting in the morning, that is ideal for a probiotic. Get up, grab a glass of water. You might do a little bit of bone broth. Grab a probiotic, and it will feed your gut when bacteria is highest. And just rotate them. Keep rotating. If you don't want 5 of them in your fridge, right, buy 1 bottle. When you're finished that one, go grab a completely different one. When you're done that one, grab a completely different one. Right? Maybe you'll find 4, 5, 6 of them that you like, and you just rotate between them. That's great. Keep doing that. but that's going to be a beneficial bacteria for your digestive system. The one time that we'll use them with meals is if someone is really struggling with bloating or constipation. That is the one time that I'll say take a probiotic with your meal, because it often helps put enough bacteria in that we can get a bowel movement within a few hours after eating. So that's the one time that I'll say I don't mind a probiotic with your meals. Is if you're suffering from some pretty bad constipation or from some terrible bloating. That would be an idea for you. But otherwise, keep them on an empty stomach. All right, let's review again because I've given you a lot of info. Okay, number one, you've got to change up your foods, quality foods, no sugar. Second thing is you've got to pick a meal plan, a healing meal plan to get yourself on while you heal your gut. So the third thing, fasting. Experiment with some fasting. Give your gut a chance to heal. The next thing is get on some of those basics. The vitamin D, the enzymes, the oils, the probiotics. You can grab those products at any health food store. And they feed and they help repair your gut lining. If you are doing those things, if you've got all those basics and if you've changed your foods and you are still struggling, then you need some specific GI testing. GI testing analyzes the exact bacteria makeup of your digestive system. The results are actually quite phenomenal to look at. We can pinpoint infections, parasites. I know no one wants to hear that word. But infections, parasites, viruses, bacterial pathogens, inflammation levels. GI panels tell us if you're breaking down the food that you're eating, right? Is your pancreas dumping amylase, right? Is your gallbladder dumping enough bile to keep your stomach acid elevated to break down food, right? We can assess your immune system. Is your immune system over-functioning? So every time you eat, you're constantly reacting. Or is your immune system underactive? Meaning your body has stopped fighting. GI testing is really quite incredible to get a specific protocol down. It allows us to create a care plan or a protocol specific to your body. Not everyone fits in a box. Not everyone fits with this exact diet and these exact supplements. A lot of people do, which is amazing. If you're not getting results in some of those boxes, look outside the box. That's where you go to GI testing. GI testing, again, is that bacteria makeup. Do you have enough good bacteria? What kind of harmful bacteria is in your system? Because there is a lot of GI issues that come from an overgrowth of a harmful bacteria. So if that's the case, we need to know what that bacteria is because we need to treat it specifically. For example, an overgrowth of SIBO, or small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, that type of bacteria is typically what causes that pregnant bloating. If you've got it, you know what I'm talking about. You eat food and within a matter of minutes to hours go, I look like I am pregnant. I'm so bloated. You can't even suck it in. It's that upper GI kind of area. It's terribly uncomfortable. But that often points to SIBO. So when someone tests high for SIBO bacteria, we can go, SIBO. We can treat that with A, B, and C. And we can be specific to remove that bacteria out. SIBO also causes constipation and diarrhea. That's a big one. Right? These panels will show Candida. So Candida overgrowth is a lower GI bacteria. But, oh man, I mean, Candida will cause bloating, acne, eczema, psoriasis, constipation, heartburn, diarrhea. Candida is found in unfortunately, most GI panels. When we run them, we see an overgrowth of Candida. People will experience frequent UTIs, yeast infections. If you're someone that's had athlete's foot or different fungal overgrowths, you most likely would have a Candida overgrowth in your gut. A GI panel would analyze that, and we could nail that down, and we can get you on a protocol to remove that. Parasites. Again, no one really wants to talk about parasites, but they're quite common. They are really quite common. They're not normal, they're common. But parasites will cause diarrhea, stomach cramping, insomnia. A lot of times when people get that adrenaline rush at night, it's coming from their guts. So if that's what's in your gut, a GI panel shows, this is exactly what kind of bug is in there, and this is exactly what we've got to do to remove it. A virus in your gut will often make a person feel like they're always just slightly under the weather, just about to get a cold or just about to get a flu. You know the feeling I'm talking about. You go home and you load up on vitamin C and you do an Epsom salt bath and you get to bed really early. And the next day you go, didn't catch that one. And then 3 days later it happens again and again and again. That can often be from a virus that's in your digestive system. So if that's there, we have to know about it so we can give you specific supplements to kill that virus and move it out of your system. Bacteria isn't something that you want to guess with. If you've had some significant concerns, if you've had symptoms for a while, you've got to run that test. The last thing you want to do is get on a supplement protocol that's meant for bacteria that's not in your system. I'm a big promoter of testing, not guessing. Be specific. So if you've got concerns, if you're suspecting some of those things, if the basics of gut health aren't doing it for you, you need to test. Functional nutritionists can run those panels. We do them daily in my office. A naturopath can do those as well. But holy moly, the info we get from those panels is really quite amazing. Just in terms of how we treat when those come back. Now, I don't mean to make it sound super easy that we nail down the bacteria, here's a product, and it leaves. Right? If you've had gut issues for years, it can take a little bit to get those issues moving again and get your gut functioning again. But knowing those specifics can be really key to healing your digestive systems. So let's go top to bottom again. Quality foods. Buy the quality. Go for the real foods. Your body knows what to do with it. Sugars. Whatever you're fighting, digestive or something else, no sugars. It slows everything down. No sugars. The third thing is you need a meal plan that suits your symptoms. When it comes to GI issues, I typically go autoimmune paleo or low Fodmap. There are others, but those are my two go-tos. So you've got to get the right foods into your system, and you've got to remove the foods that can be harmful. The fourth thing is fasting. Fasting heals your digestive system because it lets it rest. The fifth thing is get on some of those basics. Your D, your enzymes, your oils, your probiotics. Those are gut health essentials. Whether you've got issues or not, those are essential to gut health. Get on those. If you've got those things on track and you are still struggling, time to find a panel. Find someone that can run a panel, I should say, because then we've got to get specific when it comes to bacteria, cleaning it out of your system. So those are my absolute keys to digestive health. Your digestive system, your body was created to heal. Our bodies weren't meant to break down. We age, but we shouldn't be breaking down with mass dysfunction. That's not normal. It might be common, it's not normal. Your body was created to heal. It's just a matter of figuring out how your body's functioning or not functioning and getting in there with some specific nutrition to help things heal again. And when your gut works again, you improve your entire body's health, or 75 to 85% of it. So you are created to heal. So that is my talk for today. I hope that I have given you guys some specifics when it comes to how to figure out what's going on in your gut and what some things you can get going right away are. But I think I think we've got, can I answer some questions?
Yes, absolutely. Are you able to access the questions on the bottom, Sarah?
I believe so. Yes, okay. Okay, ooh, good question. Sugar and how it affects digestion. What is your take on artificial sweeteners and how it affects the body? Okay, that's actually a really good question. Artificial sweeteners would be considered more of a fake food, right? It's not real. So when you're putting anything that's chemical or not real food into your body, it has the ability to create issues. A lot of artificial sweeteners affect that gut-brain axis. So I'd remove those. When it comes to sweeteners, if you've got to sweeten something, my go-to is honey. It's real, it's natural, the body knows what to do with it. Maple sugar, right? Some people will use that. It's natural, it comes from something in nature. When it comes to digestive issues, sometimes I even hesitate with stevia at times. It is plant-based, but it can be a little bit irritating. So I say when it comes to artificial sweeteners, avoid them, go real. Is vinegar really good for digestive health? Are you talking about apple cider vinegar? Apple cider vinegar can certainly be beneficial. A lot of times when there's bacteria in the digestive system, it lowers stomach acidity. And your stomach is created to be incredibly acidic. As soon as food hits your stomach, the food is immediately supposed to break apart and start digesting from stomach acid. So when I've got someone with low stomach acid, or they've had a lot of GI issues and we have to increase their stomach acidity again, we'll often use apple cider vinegar for that. Depending on the situation, sometimes we'll get them to do a little bit of apple cider vinegar in their water during the day. But most of the time, if I'm supplementing with apple cider vinegar, I'll do about a half a teaspoon with meals, just so that you get that acid coming back at the same time that you're eating. But vinegar can be really good for stomach acid levels. Glutamine as a supplement. Glutamine can be excellent for healing the digestive system. Glutamine does not do anything in terms of cleaning out bacteria in your gut. But there's absolutely a time and place for glutamine. It is healing, it is soothing, it is repairing. If we're running a GI panel on someone and we're cleaning out bacteria, glutamine is often what we'll use afterwards to heal and repair and soothe. If we're not suspecting any kind of bacterial pathogen in their digestive system, we can definitely do glutamine from the start because it's healing, it's repairing. Yeah, glutamine is a great one. Is testing covered under Manitoba Health? No, I don't believe so. Most functional testing is, I mean, some people will have coverage with their like their private insurance plan, but Manitoba Health will not cover that. How do you make an appointment? Oh, just email. Just email us, nutrition.winnipeg@gmail.com. We'd be happy to get you booked in. You can also call us, 952-7982. Send us an email, give us a call. We can get you in for sure. Can I email the coaches about the diets? Yeah, absolutely. How often do you recommend fasting? Ooh, okay. Intermittent fasting, some people will do it daily. Some people will do it weekly. Some people will do it monthly. That's really going to depend on how sick they are. If they've got other digestive, or not other digestive, but other health concerns going on. When I see someone with digestive issues, fasting for digestive issues, I try to get them intermittent fasting 3 to 5 times a week. I mean, we might even do something as simple as no snacks, right? Have breakfast, have lunch, have supper, but give your body a break in between those meals. We might even say something like, see if you can fast through breakfast, right? And maybe you'll eat from lunchtime to around 7 p.m. So in there you can do like a meal or two or a few snacks. But we try to get them a little bit at a time. Sometimes even as simple as when you're done supper, no eating till breakfast. That way we hopefully at least get that 12 hours while they're sleeping for their gut to heal. If there's not a whole lot else going on in their system or a lot of other health concerns, we might get them fasting even longer. But minimum, I would say no snacking. I would say see if you can push till lunch at least 3 times a week. And how long would I intermittent fast for? I think intermittent fasting is pretty sustainable. So if someone's had a gut issue for a while, I'd say run with it, right? Get on that at least 6 months worth of fasting to heal that system, because your gut is used every single day. So not only can fasting help regenerate the microbiome, but going forward, it can help give breaks to keep that system strong. So not a terribly specific answer, but just some other things to think about when it comes to fasting.
Hey, Sarah, I wasn't able to type my questions in, but I had a couple of them. And the first one is on probiotics and prebiotics. And a lot of people take probiotics, myself included, but not as many utilize prebiotics. And for me, I've done a little bit of research, but I'd like to pick your brain and get your input on prebiotics and what is the difference between the two specifically, and if you recommend using prebiotics and what type of dosing.
Yeah, that's a great question. Probiotics put specific bacteria directly into your gut. So they are a direct deposit of good bacteria. Prebiotics are typically fibers or ingredients that help you grow your own bacteria. So if you're in a state of dysfunction, you've got to do the probiotics, because again, they inoculate, they put right into your gut what you need. But as your gut starts working better, or if you've already got a really good functioning gut, you can back off the probiotics a little bit and introduce some prebiotics, because prebiotics will get you building your own bacteria. So prebiotics, you got to start with a pretty small dose of them, because they're pretty fiber packed typically. So some people will take a prebiotic and go, oh, I've got a stomach ache. It's not the product, you just got to low dose it and slowly build up. But prebiotics, when you've got a gut that's pretty well functioning, or when you're coming around the corner and you're seeing positive changes with your gut, that's when you want to introduce some prebiotics. And you typically do those at the beginning of the day, because again, it's that morning time where your gut bacteria is at its highest. So that's where you want to feed it. Or that's when you want to introduce a prebiotic. That way you grow a whole lot more of your own probiotic or your own beneficial bacteria first thing in the morning.
Awesome, thank you. I had one more question. It's not necessarily on the topic of digestion, but it relates to intermittent fasting. And I know you're an expert, or one of the areas that you specialize in is anti-aging. And I've been doing some research and following, I think, what is the world's foremost expert on anti-aging. He's a doctor at Harvard, and he recommends one of the best ways to extend your life is to utilize intermittent fasting. So I wanted to, I guess, ask what your thoughts are on that.
I would completely agree with him on that. Fasting truly heals your body and has the potential to reverse disease. When you fast, you let your body heal. You let innate intelligence take over and burn off what you don't need, right? That fasting lowers your glucose, which lowers your insulin hormone. And at some point when you're fasting, your body goes, I need fuel, because you're not feeding it. right? It's not getting fuel from glucose. So it starts to tap into burning off what's in your system. So it's going to burn off fat cells, which is why a lot of people will notice weight changes. But what's stored in fat cells are toxins and chemicals and bacteria and inflammation. So as you burn fat cells for energy, you are burning off viruses, you're burning off bacteria. The longer a person fasts, the more stem cells they create. And stem cells, I mean, you go all over the place and people are getting stem cell injections and stem cell facials, right? Because stem cells are brand new, healthy cells that replace old cells. So when you fast, your body creates these surges of stem cells, and these stem cells go, okay, where in this body needs repaired? So it's going to repair heart muscle that we don't even know is damaged, right? Those stem cells are going to go repair brain inflammation. They're going to eat up brain plaques. I forget the exact statistic, but people that fast lower their chance for Alzheimer's and dementia because fasting eats up the plaques in the brain. Right, and then those stem cells get in there and regenerate. Right, when you fast and you get stem cells, it goes to your shoulder joint. Right, it goes to your gut. It goes to your spleen. Because innate intelligence is taking over, and the body is healing itself. Dr. Walter Longo, he's another guy that does a lot of talking on fasting and the benefits. And he goes so far as to say that a 4-day fast, and that's not intermittent fasting, that's block fasting, but that a 4-day fast will actually, twice a year, reduce a person's risk for cancer 98%. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. And it all goes back to the fact that your body is burning off what it doesn't need because you're not putting anything in it to burn instead. Right? Our bodies are smart. They're meant to heal, and fasting allows that.
Awesome. Thank you. That's a great answer. And those Muslims are always one step ahead of us, right, Mohammed? They've been doing this for a million years.
Yeah. So how long would you recommend to do intermittent fasting? Like, say it was something I want to do on a day, like, would you recommend doing it on a daily basis, or, you know, a few times a week? And how long?
That'll depend a little bit on a person's health status. But when I work with people, I typically build them up to some form of a daily intermittent fast. So whether that's fasting between meals, whether that's fasting for 16 or 18 hours, then I'll teach them how to do a little bit of block fasting, right? I think looking at your month as a whole, you want to look at where am I fasting daily, but where am I fasting monthly, right? I'm going to do a 24 hours here. I'm going to do a 3-day fast here. Right? And my goal is always to give people the ability to, and then you look at your year, right? Let's do a spring block fast. Let's do a fall block fast. Because I want to teach that tool of not only daily, right? A little bit here, a little bit there. You also got to follow with feast days, right?
Yeah.
But look at your week as a whole. When can you daily fast? Look at your month. When can you do a little bit of a block fast? Look at your year. When can you give a few days?
And during the fast, coffee, lemon water.
You can do black coffee.
Black coffee.
Some people can do clear teas and no herbal teas, because as soon as you get something like herbal that's sweet, you're going to stimulate insulin, which is going to kick you out of the fasted states. So black coffee, clear teas, water, bone broth. But if you're really going to fast, I'd even avoid lemon.
Okay. And that actually leads to my next question. You kept on touching on sugar.
Yeah.
Something you want to avoid. Does that apply to all types of sugar, like fruit? Like, is there any, do you differentiate the processed sugar versus natural sugars?
I have a really hard time taking people off of fruit.
Yeah.
Because fruit is real, right? It's a real food with benefits. I say no fruit juice because you take all the fiber out, so you're just getting an insulin surge. If someone's doing a lot of fruit smoothies, huge amounts of fruit, we'll say, let's back off to more berries because they're a little bit lower GI. But typically I leave fruit alone. It's the process, it's the packaged. If you're drinking tea, Do you have to put sugar in it? Do you have to put honey in it? Learn to love it clear. But fruit, I really rarely say no fruit.
Okay. Well, Grant.
I think we've got one more question here from Nitish.
Is it advised to take vitamins before bed or something during the day? Oh, okay, if you're on a thyroid medication, you definitely need to take your supplements away from your thyroid meds. If you're most people typically do their thyroid meds first thing in the morning, then I'd say split your supplements up between lunch and supper. That way you're far away from that medication. Or if you're doing, some people will do their thyroid meds a little in the morning, a little in the evening, then I would try to do the majority of your supplements at lunch. In general, if you can split your supplements up a little bit, that way you give your body a little bit of a dose during the day, but certainly far away from any kind of thyroid meds because they'll interact. It's a good question.
Okay, I think that we've covered everyone's questions, and I just wanted to, personally thank you, and also on behalf of our guests for joining us today. It was super informative. Everyone learned a lot, I think, and I have all of your contact information that I can share with anyone that reaches out to myself or any of our team. And yeah, just thank you very much, Sara. It was an awesome webinar, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Thank you. See you later, guys.
Thank you.